Welcome back to my channel. I'm Muriel, this is As Told by Muriel, and I am here today with another video. Today's video may be a little, I don't want anybody to get offended. It's just, y'all know I peruse through YouTube streets, and it's gonna be one of those videos. I've never really done a video like critiquing or criticizing anybody and their performance or anything, but this is gonna be one of those videos because I noticed something going on in like YouTube that I noticed while in my career as a nurse as well, and I just wanted to address it because I really think it's distasteful, it's degrading, and I just really wish people would stop doing it. Okay guys, for those who are new to the channel, I am Muriel. I am 45 years old. I am a registered nurse of 3.5 years, but prior to I was an LPN and I was an CNA for about a year. I became a nurse at 21, so y'all been doing this a long time. I prefer long-term care, although I have worked in acute care. I do prefer long-term care, so I am pro long-term care, but I am also pro retiring before the age of 50, like 46. Anyway, today's video, I am talking about something I noticed in YouTube, and I noticed over the years, y'all know I watch a lot of nursing YouTube videos. I don't know if it was nursing that brought me to YouTube or Game of Thrones. One of them was the first thing that actually brought me to YouTube. But I follow a lot of nurses. I follow a lot of LPNs primarily. I follow some RNs. I follow some LPNs who completed their RN journey. And one thing I noticed with some LPNs, like I said, in the workplace and even on YouTube, they really disparage RNs a lot. I don't know what it is, and it really is not a good look. I noticed this even with some of my coworkers when I too was an LPN. They would, like an RN would come into the facility to work. Mind you, it could be a new grad RN who's never worked in nursing at all, or an RN who's never worked in long-term care, who've worked maybe in home health or worked in an office job or whatever, and is switched over, is doing long-term care, and say they don't know how to do something, or they don't know a medication, or they don't, something, they don't know how to complete a skill, a task, they don't know certain medications and stuff. I see a lot of LPNs, and even some here on YouTube, I ain't gonna name no names, but they be like, oh, she's an RN, and I can do the things some of them can't even do. I know more than them, and aren't you supposed to be the RN? Shouldn't you know this? And y'all, that is so, I don't like that. I feel like that's like a bitter, like that's coming from a place of bitterness and anger, and like, okay, so I worked with a nurse. This is the one that I can remember. He's a good nurse. He was an LPN. He's now an RN. But I remember he was speaking on the nurse who came to work in long-term care, and it was her first nursing job ever. She's never been a nurse, and she didn't know how to set the tube feeding pump. And he made the statement, she's supposed to be the RN. She don't know how to do a tube feeding pump. Y'all, that just like really, and at the time I was an LPN. I told him, I was like, she just graduated nursing school. Of course she's not gonna know how to do the IV pump. I mean the tube feeding pump. Did you know how to do that tube feeding pump right out of school? And then sometimes like on YouTube, I'll see nurses, LPNs who like to compare themselves to RNs, like as far as skill level and stuff. And I'll be thinking, why are you comparing your skill level for a specialty that you've been working in for a year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, and comparing it to the skill level of an RN who just graduated? Of course you're going to know how to do these things, and they don't know how to do. When you were a new grad, you didn't know how to do these things either. And it just, I never understood it. And I'm gonna be honest, I was never that type of nurse. I never said, ain't she supposed to be the RN? Should she know this? I never said that, because common sense, she's a new RN, or she's new to this specialty, or she's never worked with this equipment. Of course she's not gonna know this. It can even be some medications that an RN doesn't know this medication. Maybe they had a peds patient at home health, so they never worked with this population, and their peds patient didn't take this medication. And the LPN would be like, oh, she's supposed to be the RN. She don't know this medicine. It just is like a bitter statement to make. I just don't like it. I really don't like it. And I've never heard, and I'm not going to sit here and say RNs don't do wrong, because some RNs, they probably do. You know, I know some RNs who disparage LPNs. They really, you know, they never been an LPN before, and they went to school straight out, got their RN, and they may look, y'all like say, look down on LPNs. They may look down on LPNs. They may feel like LPNs can't do the things they can do. I've never come across an RN that act like that. Maybe it's because I spent the majority of my career in long-term care, and so I always knew my job. Like, not always. I came out and knew I didn't always know my job, but there wasn't an RN that I came across that knew more than what I knew as far as in long-term care. Now, so don't let an RN come in a long-term care facility and she's never worked in a long-term care facility, and then is the LPN having to train her. They got me training her, but she's supposed to be the RN. Y'all, let me tell y'all, it just leaves a real, like, it's not a good look at all. So please don't be one of the nurses doing that. Please don't. It's not cute at all. And this is not, like I said, I was an LPN for 18 years, so I know what I'm talking about, because I've been there. I've seen my peers, my fellow LPNs who have said that about different RNs who came to work in long-term care. Another thing I want to hit on is the cattiness in nursing. I'm talking about this because today I was at work and it was towards the end of my shift. Y'all know I get off at 3 o'clock every day now on my job. I'm so happy about that, because honey, ain't nothing better than sitting at that time clock at, like, my relief is always there in the building when I work. We all work together, and the other nurses are there till 7, and I leave at 3. So my relief is always there. And sometimes they come up to me like 2:40 and like be like, "You ready to count?" I'm done with my work for the day. There's nothing else I need to do. I'll just be sitting there for 20 minutes hoping no one falls or anything like that. But if one of my peers come to me and be like, "Hey, you want to count?" Yeah. So I'll go count with them like 2:45. I'll fiddle diddle on the computer for a little bit, go sit by the time clock at 2:55. I'm hitting the clock at 3 o'clock. I'm out. Love it, y'all. Just love it. I have no problem going there 5 days a week now, knowing I'm up out of there at 3 o'clock, 3:15 sometimes if I want to get a little bit extra time on the thing, or 3:07 if I want to get a little bit extra time on there. Anywho, but towards the end of the shift, y'all, they had this discussion. They was talking about this nurse, and it was 3 of them, and they were talking about how she isn't a good nurse, how she wasn't a good CNA. Nobody likes to work with her, and you know, so y'all know in the facility I work, I've been at this facility for about a month, and I was full-time initially, 3 12-hour shifts, dropped the PRN, and then when I was sitting there fighting for my life with C19, I was thinking, you know, y'all know how I feel about my business and having more time to devote to my business, and, you know, working on the weekends, as far as that's when my business is, you know, stuff is handled as far as physically handled on the weekend. So this job that I went PRN to allowed me to be a Monday through Friday 7 to 3 nurse, and I'm off every weekend, y'all. I forgot to tell in the last video, I'm letting go of that every other weekend job. This is actually going to be my last weekend with them supervising, and then I'm letting that go too. So I'll be off every weekend, y'all. Anywho, so they were sitting there and they were talking about the nurse, and then, you know, everybody, it was 2 CNAs and it was a nurse, and they were just talking about her. And I know the nurse, like, when she started working there, I actually trained her. I did work with her before when she was a CNA. I never worked with her while she was a nurse. I trained her, but we never worked together. So I didn't really get any feedback on how she is as a nurse. But I've never had an issue with her. So as they were sitting there talking about her, y'all, I just sat there just quiet, typing away, you know. I'm listening because, you know, I hear what's going on, but I was sitting there thinking, in my mind, this is what I'm thinking. All 3 of y'all over here talking about her. I bet you not one of y'all addressed any issues with her, woman to woman. I bet you none of those ladies that was up there talking about her ever went to her and addressed any issues with her, as far as her work performance, as far as her in the supervisory capacity, as far as her anything. I bet none of them addressed any issues with her. That's one thing I don't like. Y'all, I had a situation at the same job where there was a CNA. She was clean. She was being helpful. It was, C19 popping up all over the building. She was being helpful. She was wiping it down with a homemade concoction. She had some bleach, part bleach, part water, I guess. I don't know, but I could barely breathe. It was so strong in there, I could barely breathe. And so I went to her and I said, "Do you mind not using that bleach to clean, because I could barely breathe?" And she didn't really say anything. She just stopped wiping down what she was wiping, turned her back, went ahead and did whatever. So I already was like, oh Lord, in my mind, I'm like, so I just went ahead doing what I was doing. So as she was walking through or something, I don't know if she was talking to somebody on the phone, but she made a comment. She was like, "Everybody want to be chiefs around here." Y'all, why y'all? Why? And I mean her. Why? First of all, I'm new here. Y'all don't know me like that. Like, first of all, I'm going to address somebody. Like, I don't throw off and say little things. I address people woman to woman. That's how I am. Especially in a work capacity. Even something out there in the streets, whatever. Say what you want to say, but we got to work together, and there's an issue. You come talk to me. So anyway, I went to her and I was like, "Excuse me, were you making that comment for me?" And she was like, "Yes." I said, "So well, how was I trying to be a chief? By asking you to not use bleach to clean because I can't breathe?" And she was like, "Oh, it's no problem. I'm not going to use." I said, it's nothing. It's done. I put it up. I said, "Yeah, but I said, "No, it's not done because you made the little comment. From what I can tell, you're the one trying to be a chief. How is it me being a chief when I'm telling you I can't breathe because of the bleach?" I say, "And if I can't breathe, I know the patients can't breathe. If it's messing with my respiratory system, I know it's messing up theirs." I say, "And anybody in healthcare should know strong chemicals like that will mess up a geriatric patient respiratory tract." And so she was just like, "It's okay. It's that, no problem. Like, y'all, I had to work the rest of the day with this girl. She barely said 2 words to me, but trust and believe, if I needed to address her with a patient, something about a patient, I told her. I was like, "Hey, can you so and so? Hey, can you so and so?" Because I'm not going to sit here and be catty with you when it pertains to the job. Because for one, I don't know you. I barely know your first name. This might have been my 3rd time working with her. I barely know her first name. All I know is we work together. We're here taking care of these patients. When I leave this building, I'm not going to think about you. When I leave this facility, I'm not going to think about you. I'm not going to think about you as soon as I hit the clock. I'm not going to think much about you, period. I have no relation to you. Don't plan on having any relation to you because of the attitude that you've shown me. You would never be someone I would even consider a coworker that I would enjoy working with. And even now, that happened probably about 4 weeks ago. I probably will never work with her again because I've even moved out of that building into another building. But yeah, the cattiness and the attitudes, y'all. These attitudes gotta go. These attitudes are horrible. And I don't even know what else to say about these attitudes. Are horrible. And they need to go. There's no place in the workplace for them. And then you're going to run into somebody like me who is not going to sit there and, I'm not going to just sit there and let stuff fester. I'm not going to sit there and let you say little things and it be done. You're not going to bully me. I'm going to open my mouth. I'm going to say something. I don't do well to the little throw off little comments. I don't do well to the little backhanded little comments. I don't do well for, like, if you say something about me and it's my job performance, I'm going to approach you. If you say something personally about me, I can't stand that nurse. I don't like working with her. I could care less. If you don't like me personally. I don't care. But when it comes to job performance and these patients, I'm sorry. We're here to take care of the patients. We got a job to do. And if you're doing something that's detrimental to the patient, I'm going to call you on it. I'm sorry. No, I'm not sorry. I'm not sorry. Anywho, y'all, just this little rant. I'm Muriel, this asshole by Muriel. Thank you for all my new subscribers. If you like this video, hit the like button, comment, subscribe, tell a friend to tell a friend.